All right, let's go to Morgan in Tyler, TX. What's up, Morgan?
Hi, Dr. John.
How are you?
I'm good. My heart is pounding right now.
Hey, you are in safe hands. And by safe hands, they're definitely not mine, but Kelly and James are driving, so you're good. You're good. So what's up?
Okay, so I am taking a team of people to Romania in September.
Hey, real quick, Morgan, talk directly into your phone there.
Okay, is that better?
Oh, 1,000 times better. Great.
Okay, so we're taking a team to Romania in September to work with Ukrainian refugees, and I was just wondering, how can I prepare our team for the trauma stories that we're going to hear, and how can we respond to those stories as we, hear them and interact with those people?
I love this question. So good. And it's applicable both for people going into deal with war zone refugees, and it's also important for how do you deal with your middle school kids at home, right? So great question. Talk about what are y'all doing there? Y'all going to be giving them food and shelter? Like what work are y'all doing?
That's a great question. Our host there, I've been talking with her about it, and she was kind of explaining, we really don't know, obviously, what the status of the war is going to be when we go and what the needs are going to be, but she gave me an idea of what they're doing now, and they're delivering supplies, they're doing programs for refugee children, they're actually delivering supplies into Ukraine. They're transporting refugees from their border to wherever else they need to go, where their family members are. So that's kind of the general idea of what we might be doing at the time, but we don't really know.
I love it. Okay, cool. So I'm writing notes down to myself right here, and I'm going to rattle them off at you, okay? If you don't have something to write with, that's totally fine. You can go back and just listen to this, and we can even send you a clip. It won't come out for a while, but you may be on the road already, so we can send you something. But here's a couple of entry point things to keep in your back pocket that would be great for you to circle up your team and meet with them. How old is your team going over?
Really all ages. I've had some people in high school interested, up to people in their 40s.
Okay.
So.
All right. Okay, so here we go. The first thing that's important is everybody has to go in with the idea that we're going to be listeners, not fixers.
Mm-hmm.
Very little somebody can bring over from, Dallas, Texas to Ukraine in the what y'all should be doing this. What you could really be providing them is a listening ear, and them getting very quickly a group of people paid their own money, or a group of other people provided the means for someone to travel over just to sit with me. Mm-hmm. They crossed oceans just to be with me during my darkest hour, and it's incredibly healing. And so I would put big number one, listen more, talk less, right? Listen more, talk less. The second thing is I would start a practice right now. So as people are deciding if they want to go, they want to be a part of this, part of them signing up and saying yes, they put their deposit in or whatever, I want you to have some sort of journaling apparatus, some sort of journal for them that you're going to hand them and say you start today.
Okay.
And here's why that's important. They're going to have some sort of processing mechanism, and I want them to practice that a couple of weeks before they head over there. And this is going to be where you as the supervisor, or you and a group of team leaders, are going to really step into this gap here. But I want them to write at the end of every day, and I want you and your team to spend an extra hour or two before y'all go to bed reading and responding to these things.
Okay.
Okay? Something about being heard in the midst of chaos is a gift to the human physical system. It lets you drop your shoulders. Somebody hear what I'm seeing, right? And you will also begin to see if one or two of your team members, if they're starting to rattle at the seams, right? They're starting to kind of untether a little bit. And that's a great way. People will write things that they won't say. And it's easy when you're doing this kind of work to rally a circle and be like, all right, how's everybody? Well, the folks who are really struggling probably aren't going to say anything. Mm-hmm. And so when you're writing it down, they will. Another thing here, stay off the news. Mm-hmm. Be present where you're at. And here's another hard one along that same line. if at all possible, limit the number of domestic, them texting, especially them FaceTiming back home. Y'all go over there, be fully there. This is a hypothesis of mine that I'm still working through, and I don't even know how I would sit down with a research group to figure this out. But we've seen the rise in PTSD. We've seen the rise in just general anxiety across the world. And I go back to us. Our brains are not designed to live stream war, right? Our brains are designed to respond to threats in our immediate ecosystem. And when I look at the rise of PTSD among soldiers, I have to wonder if one of the great gifts is when they're deployed, they can still go watch their kids' Little League game because their spouses can FaceTime it, right? Or they can see their spouses and FaceTime it. They can digitally attend birthday parties. But it also is asking the brain to do something it's not designed to do, which is to go out on mission during the day and then be a dad in my living room 17,000 miles away at night. And I'm wondering if the toggle back and forth is taxing on their mind. I'm not saying if I'm a soldier and I'm deployed, you're dang right, I'm going to FaceTime every day. I'm not going to miss those moments, but I have to wonder if there's some sort of physiological consequence downstream. And similar here, I want that team, if they sign up to go, this is not to Facebook stuff and to send Instagram posts. It's just to be present to help hurting people. So we may have once a week, we may all get together and do FaceTime back home, but I want everybody present, okay? And then here's the last thing I would tell you. Every single person on this trip will come back different. They're going to change. And often we really struggle and fight change as it's happening to us. You can't sit with Ukrainian refugees and not have that secondary traumatic stress, not have some of that hatred and ugliness and evil and pain and hurt rub off on you. And hopefully they can bring those lessons back. But trying to fight that change is going to be hard. So you as the leader will be having conversations about, okay, what does this look like moving forward? How are you going to be different? What change in the world are you going to be a part of now that you've experienced this? And so what we're doing is we're taking that grief and we're quickly toggling it to making meaning here, right? What changes in the world are you going to be a part of as a result of this? Not, that was a cool experience and we got to some cool IG posts out of it and it's going to go on a college resume, or I'm going to do a talk on it at my local church. No, that's not why we're doing this. We're actually going to sit with hurting people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Those are just a few tips. The big one is I think I've talked about it on the show. Whenever I would go to a scene, a crisis scene, and it was like gruesome crisis scenes that were just a mess, or really, really heavy ones, where somebody had been murdered and the families are rallied up in a circle, and my supervisor would always call and check in with me, and he would say, "What'd you see? What's your body doing? What'd you feel? What's next?" And he would just go through these questions, but I always remember, and it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., he's calling, checking in. So I always appreciated that human connection, and come to find out it's neurologically and physiologically the right thing to do also, to reconnect each other to other people. So make sure y'all checking in with each other. But thank you for going to love hurting people. That's really a gift. What inspired you to do this?
So in 2018, my sister and I actually went to Jordan to work with Syrian refugees. And when this opportunity came along, I just knew that was something that I felt like God had kind of created that passion in me to just go help those people in need. So
the things I just rattled off here, would that have applied to your experience in Syria?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When you said that everybody comes back different, I was like, yep.
Very cool. Well, thank you for your heart, and thank you for being willing to go love and just sit with people. And usually I like people to enter into a space with a mission. Like, I'm going to get people out of this burning building. I'm not just going to go hang around in the building while it burns. I like them to, if you're going to enter into a crisis situation, have an objective. But I kind of like your heart here. We don't know what we're doing, but we're going to go sit with hurting people. And if they ask us to make eggs, then we're going to make eggs. And if they ask us to sweep the floor, we're going to sweep the floor. And if they ask us just to hold them and hear their stories, write their stories down, tell their stories on our return trips, that's what we're going to do. That's a beautiful heart. Thank you so much.